Ashley, where on earth are you right now? There are floors to be swept, dishes to be washed, toilets to be cleaned, and you haven't even started working on lunch yet. What are you thinking, leaving the house at a time like this?
I'm sorry, I wasn't feeling well this morning. I tried to put up with it for as long as I could, but it kept getting worse and worse. I called my doctor, and he said I should come in to see him, so here I am.
What? Again? Good grief, girl. How many times have you made that same tired excuse lately? Don't think I can't see through your childish little scheme. I don't care what awful excuses you invent. There is no way I'm going to let you get away with skipping out on your housework, Ashley.
Please, you have to understand. I feel absolutely awful. I've barely even slept an hour or so the past few days, and I can't keep any food down.
And how exactly is that my problem? It's your responsibility to look out for your own health. You're not a child anymore. Stop acting like one. Look at my Joseph, for example. Unlike you, he actually works for a living, and yet he hasn't caught so much as a cold in years. So tell me, Ashley, how in the world did you manage to catch a cold while lounging about in the house all day? Can you explain that to me?
I think the most likely explanation is that it's not a cold.
What do you mean?
I've tried every single over-the-counter cold remedy they sell, and none of it has any effect. I did some digging around the internet, and I think there's a very good chance that I have clinical depression. I'm at my psychiatrist's office right now. I should be getting in to see him soon.
Clinical depression? What nonsense is that?
It's not nonsense. It's a serious mental condition. I think my depression is what's been making me feel so awful lately.
You know what it sounds like to me, Ashley? It sounds like you have completely run out of excuses. Did you really think I would buy that whole clinical depression story? You're just being lazy.
You really think that?
How could I not? You've never put in an honest day's work as long as we've lived together. You just lay about the house watching TV or playing on your phone. How does someone get depression with a lifestyle like that? It doesn't make a bit of sense.
You want to know why? I'll tell you why. It's because every time you yell at me, insult me, or make some snide remark about me, it feels like someone is jabbing a knife into my heart. It seems like every time I hear your voice, I start to hyperventilate.
How dare you try to blame me for your laziness? All I'm doing is what any good mother would do for her son. I'm giving you the training you desperately need to be a good wife for Joseph. You should count your lucky stars to have a mother-in-law as gentle and kind as I am. You should have heard the way my mother-in-law spoke to me when I first married my husband. She was much worse than I am.
So now you're saying that I'm just not tough enough? That's my problem?
That's precisely your problem. You're weak, soft. And let me remind you, if you were good for anything at all around here, I wouldn't have to talk to you this way. You don't like it when I tell you the truth? Too bad. Try folding the laundry right for once. And then there's poor Joseph. Do you have any idea how much pain you're causing him? He talks to me all the time about how he's worried that you'll never become a decent wife for him.
Well, I'm very, very sorry that I haven't lived up to your expectations.
You're sorry? You're sorry? Sorry doesn't make up for the fact that we wasted 10 years of our life providing for you. When are you going to pay us back for that kindness, Ashley?
I've done everything that I can for you.
Well, it's not nearly good enough, which is why we both have to waste our valuable time slapping some sense into you. I'm getting tired of waiting for you to come around.
What more could you possibly want from me?
You have two choices, Ashley. You can either shape up your act pronto, or you can get the hell out of my house. Either way, the choice is yours.
That's a pretty insane ultimatum to make of me. You know that I don't have anywhere else to go.
Right you are, little girl, which is why I strongly suggest that you stop dragging your feet and start pulling your weight around here. Maybe if you start doing an acceptable job as a housewife, we might start treating you like a human being again.
Wow, thank you so much for your generosity. I'll be sure to work as hard as I can to please you.
You've got that right! You failed your lunch duties, so you can forget about that for now. Get back here immediately and start working on dinner.
Hey there, sweetheart. How are you doing these days?
Hi, Dad. It's great to hear from you. I'm doing fine, I guess. Not much new to report. What about you? I hope the weather isn't getting too cold for you guys up there.
Who, us? Nah, we're used to this sort of weather by now. Even your mother doesn't mind it as much anymore.
I'm glad to hear you guys are doing well.
We sure do miss seeing you, though, especially your mother. I'm sorry we can't visit you more often.
You have nothing to be sorry about. It's your work. You can't help it. On the contrary, how are prices doing over there? I heard inflation is insane these days.
If I'm being honest, I have to admit that it is making things a bit more complicated. Your mother's the one who tracks all our finances, and she's been letting out an awful lot of worried sighs when she goes through our bank account statements. But I have good news on that front, actually. It seems we won't have to put up with living here much longer.
Wow, really?
Yes, really. Nothing's been officially decided yet, though, so I'll let you know when it becomes official. And when that happens, I'd love for you to come over and see us. It'll be my treat. I'll buy your ticket and everything.
As much as I would love to come and see you guys, I don't know how my mother-in-law would react.
You really think she'd mind? Sure, you'd probably be over here for about a week or so, but is even that too much to ask?
For her? Yeah, it is. I don't even need to ask to know what she'd say. She would say I'm being selfish and lazy and tell me that if I go, she'd never allow me back home.
Ashley, are you feeling all right?
Do I sound unwell?
It's just that you're being so casual about how controlling that woman is. I know that you're working your hardest at all the housework she makes you do. It may not be my place to interject, but I'd say she has no right to control your lifestyle to this degree.
I don't know. Sometimes I start to feel like maybe she has a point. Maybe I'm just not good enough at this. And yeah, I haven't exactly been feeling my best lately.
What's the matter, dear? Are you sick?
Well, no, not exactly, but it looks like I might have clinical depression.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, that's what the doctor said. I guess maybe I let her get to me. And thanks to my depression, my housework is getting sloppier. And thanks to that, my mother-in-law is getting angry at me more often.
Ashley, don't talk like that about yourself. You haven't done anything wrong. She's out of line.
Really, though? Like I said, sometimes I have my doubts. I'm not that good of a cook, and it's true that I tend to let things get a bit cluttered around the house.
Is that what those two have been telling you?
Yeah, practically every day. They tell me they have to be strict with me, that it's for my benefit.
All right, I think I've heard all I need to. For the time being, I want you to promise me that you won't push yourself too hard, Ashley. And be sure to message me whenever there are any new developments I should know about, okay?
Sure, Dad. I'll keep you in the loop.
For the love of all things holy, are you still laying down in your room?
I'm sorry, but I'm having a particularly bad day today. I don't think I could stand up right now, even if I wanted to.
Goodness, you're one lucky girl, you know that. All you need to do is sleep, watch TV, and play with your phone, and all your needs are met. Most people have to work for a living, you know. That's what responsible, upstanding members of society do anyway. But I guess you're too good for that lifestyle, huh?
I know that you rely on me to do a lot of the work around here, and I'm sorry I haven't been feeling like myself lately. But I have done everything you've asked me every single day for the last 10 years. Isn't it fair for me to have a day for myself to rest every once in a while?
Excuse me? Did you just talk back to me? What's gotten into you lately?
What's gotten into me lately is that I'm not going to sit back and take this from you anymore. You and Joseph have been belittling me and bossing me around for so long that I sort of started to believe you were right about me. But I'm not going to be the subservient little housewife you wanted me to be anymore. My eyes have been opened. I'm doing more than enough for you already, and I won't do a single thing more.
Are you out of your mind? Do you honestly think that you're doing a satisfactory job as a housewife? Please spare me. There has not been a single time in the last 10 years when I've been glad to have you around. If anything, we'd be much better off without you.
And what makes you say that?
Let me count the ways. You don't do any housework, you don't do any money, you don't make any babies. Why don't I ask you the reverse question? What value do you think you provide to this family? I'm racking my brain and I can't think of a single thing.
Maybe I haven't provided the sort of value that you wanted from me, but let's think back to 10 years ago, shall we? I had a job. I was making money, but then who told me to quit that job and become a housewife? You did! I can't even imagine how far my career might have gone had I kept working.
Back then, I thought you were capable of being a satisfactory housewife, but you've proven me dead wrong over the last 10 years. You're a complete failure in every way imaginable.
I'm putting in my all every day of the week in order to help this house stay in order. Is it too much to ask for you to show some small amount of appreciation for that?
Give me a break. You want appreciation for cooking mediocre food, doing mediocre laundry, and doing a mediocre job of cleaning around the house? Any idiot can do all that. And lately, your performance hasn't even been mediocre.
And why do you think that is? You made me this way. All you had to do was not be an overbearing psycho, and right now we could have a great relationship. We could be having fun cooking and cleaning together. We could have been a family.
There you go again, blaming me for your character flaws. Unbelievable. How shameless can you be? And I can't help but notice that you are still laying down in your bed when you have work to do. Are you planning on staying in there forever?
If you keep acting like this, then I just might, yeah.
Is that so? Then I'm afraid I have no other choice.
No other choice? Are you gonna threaten me now?
If you're not going to be a decent housewife, then I have no use for you around here. Divorce Joseph and get out of my house.
Excuse me?
You can read English, can't you? I won't repeat myself.
I don't believe you. You're really going to kick me out of your house because I took a nap on a Saturday afternoon?
I'm kicking you out because you're a useless freeloader. I have far better things to do with my time than provide room and board for a parasite like you. Pack up your things and leave at once.
You can't be serious. You have no right to do this to me. I told you, I'm feeling the worst I have in a while right now. I couldn't pack my stuff up if I wanted to.
You seem to be under the impression that you have a say in the matter. Resist all you'd like. If all else fails, I'll just have to drag you out of this house myself.
To be quite honest, I would actually be pretty happy to finally be rid of you two. But when I leave, I want to do it on my own terms. Seriously, I'm not going to let you kick me out of the house for getting sick from being overworked.
Yet again, this isn't up to you, it's up to me. All I expected of you was to do a passable job of cooking and cleaning. I didn't expect much, but you couldn't even meet that low standard. Pathetic.
Your standard is absolutely ridiculous.
And so what if it is?
You know what? I'm done. It's not worth the trouble. I'm leaving.
Ha! It's about time you did what you were told.
I'm not leaving until I get all the divorce details settled, however. That's going to take some time, so I hope you understand.
Don't even think about dragging out the divorce in order to stay here longer.
Perish the thought. I want to be gone as soon as possible. All right, that's that. Joseph and I are now officially divorced, and I'll be moving out immediately.
It took you long enough. Hurry up and clear every last trace of your presence out of this house, and don't you ever show your face around here again.
Don't worry, I'm heading out the door now. My limo just got here.
Limo? Ha! Limos are for important people, not for the likes of you. So what's the deal here, Troy? Is this some kind of a joke or prank or something?
Well, that's certainly one way to start a conversation. Can you be more specific? I'm not sure what you're referring to.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't play dumb with me.
I'm afraid you'll have to be more specific if you want to continue this conversation.
A real-life limousine came to pick Ashley up from our house. What's the deal with that?
Oh, you're talking about my limo. I don't know what you want me to say. I called for a limo, so it came. Simple as that. I suppose seeing my wonderful daughter for the first time in ages got me a little bit excited. I figured an extra special occasion like this merited an extra special vehicle.
Well, it seems like you're quite the fan of blowing excessive amounts of money on pointless nonsense. How much does it even cost to rent a limo? Something like $1,000 a day or so?
I wouldn't know how much it costs to rent a limo because that wasn't a rental. I bought it. That's my limo.
Okay, well, that just proves my case even more. It's expensive just to rent a limo. How much does it cost to buy one?
If I'm not mistaken, the one that I sent to pick up Ashley cost me something to the tune of $150,000. It seemed like it would be perfect to use on family vacations and the like.
Will you stop fooling around with me already, Troy? You and I both know that there's no way an ordinary person could afford to spend $150,000 on a limousine.
Huh. I suppose it depends on what you mean by ordinary. I eat food, drink water, and sleep at night just like all humans do. But if you're referring to financial means, I can assure you that I do make enough money to afford to buy a limousine or two.
You do? Then you owe me an explanation. What in the world do you do for a living anyway? All I've heard from Ashley is that you've been working in London for years.
Oh, you already know? Then there's not much more for me to say. I work in sales at a rather large firm in London, and for the past 5 years I've had the top performance in the company. Number 2 isn't even close to my numbers.
You've got to be kidding me!
Why would I kid around about this? Anyway, you've seen the proof for yourself, haven't you? I make an impressive amount of money, if I may say so myself. In addition, I've been pooling money with a friend of mine to invest in some very lucrative real estate projects. I'm pulling in almost as much from those investments as I am from my sales job. So maybe you have a point, and I'm not what you could call an ordinary person. Most ordinary people wouldn't even know what to do with as much money as I have at my disposal.
This is unbelievable. Why is this the first time I'm hearing of this?
My Ashley is a humble, down-to-earth girl. She's not the type to go around flaunting her father's wealth like those rich celebrities with their own TV shows. But she's not a liar either, so if you had asked her about what I do, she probably would have told you. And speaking of Ashley, I'm pleased to inform you that she'll be out of your hair from here on out. She's coming to live with us.
Wait, you mean she's moving to London to be with you? Or are you quitting your job and coming back here?
I wouldn't use the term quit. It's more like a slightly early retirement. I've made enough money to secure my future. Between my stock portfolio and real estate investments, I'll have more than enough to live on and have plenty left over. So, in the time I've got left on this earth, I've decided to focus on the things that truly matter, namely family. I've been planning on heading back to the good old US of A for some time now, but it was more of a 5 or 10 year plan. However, after hearing the terrible way that you've been treating my poor Ashley, I decided to move things up a few years.
I don't know what to say. I never knew about any of that.
Well, in fairness, we were both in the dark about different things. I, for one, had no idea that my daughter had married such a good-for-nothing, low-down, pathetic little mama's boy. She's suffered more than enough abuse and scorn living with the two of you. From now on, I want to make her so happy that she forgets you and your son ever even existed.
Well, that's just fine by me. I've been wanting to unload that girl for ages now. But I want this to be a clean break, understand? Tell her not to even think about whining and begging to come back with us, because we're through with her.
Don't you worry about a thing, Charlene. Neither Ashley nor I will bother you ever again.
Well, isn't that wonderful news for you? You'll get to spend the rest of your life getting pampered and spoiled by your precious rich daddy. I was wondering why you all of a sudden got the nerve to talk back to me, and this explains everything. You realized you had sucked us completely dry, so now you're going to move on and suck your own family dry.
No, actually, it's just like I told you. My eyes were opened up. Life with you and Joseph had almost made me start to think that I actually was a useless parasite like you say I am. But my mom and dad talked sense into me, and I was finally able to see clearly for the first time in years. For the record, though, I wasn't actually planning to move in with my parents right away when I agreed to divorce Joseph. That was decided more recently.
It doesn't matter when it was decided. I'm still right about you. You're going to live off your daddy's money for the rest of your life.
I suppose you could say that. My dad bought a nice house that the three of us can live in now that he's back living in the country permanently. But I'm less interested in the money and more interested in getting to spend some quality time with my parents.
Ha! I bet he bought some gaudy, tacky mansion that people buy to show off their wealth.
I don't know about tacky or gaudy, but it is rather nice and comfortable. Or at least it looks like it will be. I've only seen pictures of it so far.
And how wonderful for you. I know from the 10 years you spent leeching off of us that you love nothing more than laying around the house all day. I'm positively green with envy.
Nah, I won't be laying around the house or anything. I'm fully prepared to earn my own keep and pay for my own things. I'm actually looking forward to getting back into my old career.
What? You're going to be working?
I'm not sure what you're so surprised about. I had a job of my own right up until I got married to Joseph, and then the two of you talked to me and said you wanted me to become a housewife. So I did what you asked and quit my job.
Don't be ridiculous. You're no young thing anymore. You're an old maid now. What company is going to hire you?
Well, to be fair, the company I'm going to be working for doesn't exist quite yet. My dad's going to launch his own investment company soon, and I'm going to work for him. I'm a little rusty on my financial knowledge, but I did work in the industry for several years, so I imagine I'll get back into the swing of things pretty quickly.
Ah, isn't that rich? You're going to get some kind of cushy little do-nothing job from your daddy. And he's going to pay you a fortune to seal envelopes in the mail center or something.
My father does care quite a bit for me, and I'd say he does venture into the realm of spoiling me every now and then, but that's in his personal life. In his private life, my dad is as ruthless as they come. How else do you think he could become the top salesman for a powerful global firm like he did? If I were to make a costly mistake, he wouldn't hesitate for 1 second to fire me. I'm looking forward to the challenge of working for him.
Whatever. If he wants to pay you to destroy his business, that's his loss. He hasn't seen you over the last 10 years, so he doesn't know what a failure you have become. You won't last a week at your daddy's company. Honestly, I'd be surprised if you made it a full day before realizing that you're in way over your head.
I'm much more optimistic about my chances than you are, as is my dad.
Well, when you end up penniless on the street, don't you come crying to me for a handout. You'll get nothing. I'm done talking to you. Never contact me or my son ever again.
Gladly. Have a nice life, Charlene.
Just when I thought you couldn't do anything more to us.
Oh, great. Just who I wanted to hear from.
Some lawyer came by the house earlier and handed me a massive envelope. And what did I find when I opened it up? You're suing me! Where do you get off suing me, Ashley? What did I ever do to you?
Do you really need to ask? You and Joseph put me through 10 whole years of emotional and mental abuse. It was so bad that it ended up impacting both my mental and physical health. I have every right to sue you for the very real damage that I suffered because of you. That includes obvious things like medical bills, but also punitive damages.
Oh, give me a break. Emotional and mental abuse, mental and physical health, you're making all of that up.
I assure you, I have hard evidence to back up all of my claims. You knew I was going to a psychiatrist for my depression. I told you about that personally. He gave me an official diagnosis. So yes, I do have clinical depression. There should have been a form in that envelope showing you that. Did you read through everything?
No, but it doesn't matter. So what if you've got depression? You can't honestly claim that it's my fault.
Yes, Charlene, I absolutely am saying it's your fault. I suffered daily verbal abuse at your hands.
You can't prove that. Where's your evidence?
Glad you asked. This was included in the envelope too, but I have a journal in which I detailed all the different ways you were cruel to me.
You what?
I was never planning to use that journal in this way. It was originally just the best way I could think of to vent the stress you put me under, but it wasn't enough of an outlet in the end. And I'm not a legal expert myself, but my lawyer said that it was evidence and we could use it in court.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that you're actually going to sue me for this insane amount of money?
I thought being served by my lawyer would be enough to show you that I'm very serious about suing you.
You know that I don't have a job. How am I supposed to pay for a lawyer to defend me from these ridiculous claims?
How about you just ask Joseph to foot the bill? It's either that, or you could always try and defend yourself.
I can't do either of those things. Thanks to you being a greedy, spiteful snake, Joseph lost half of his savings in the divorce. And I don't know the first thing about the law. I'll never be able to defend myself.
How you respond to my lawsuit is your problem, not mine. All I did was exercise the rights available to me by law. It's too bad, Charlene. If only you could have been a decent person to me, I wouldn't have had to resort to this.
Why is this happening to me?
It's because you put me through 10 years of torture. I know you thought that you could do whatever you wanted to me and get away with it. But I'm afraid you're going to have to take responsibility for your actions. I'm not interested in hearing any of your whining about it either. Well, hello again, Charlene.
You? What do you want? I thought I was finally rid of you.
Trust me, I wasn't expecting to be talking to you like this again either. But there's something that we need to talk about.
Well, get on with it then. Are you coming to brag about your luxurious lifestyle?
No, I'd much rather enjoy my luxurious lifestyle in peace and quiet than brag about it to you.
Then what is it? You're not going to beg Joseph to take you back, are you? I hate to break it to you, but he's already found himself another woman.
Don't worry, Charlene. I'd sooner drown myself in my pool than go back to living with you and Joseph.
Then what do you want?
You applied for a staff position at Golden Brook Apartments on Center Avenue, didn't you?
How do you know that?
Because my dad owns that apartment complex, and I'm the property manager. I got your resume in my email the other day.
I have the absolute worst luck. Why did you lot have to own that apartment? So what of it? Are you going to mock me?
That's not really my thing. I was intending to just ignore your application and move on.
Then why are you texting me?
Because your resume is nothing but lies. You wrote here that you spent 20 years as the manager of an apartment building downtown. You've never even spent one day as a property manager. Stop lying on your resume. It's not going to end well for you. That's all I wanted to say.
What am I supposed to do? No one will hire a woman my age with as little work experience as I have.
Why are you so desperate for a job?
Because of you and your stupid lawsuit. Thanks to you, Joseph abandoned me. He moved out of my house. I'm on Social Security, but it's not enough to make the payments on the damages the jury awarded you. I've applied for every job I could find, but no one ever calls me back.
I understand that probably sucks, but you need to stop lying.
Fine, I won't lie on my resume anymore. So, will you give me the job?
Are you serious?
It's a win-win situation. I'll take care of the property for you, and then I'll earn enough money to make my monthly payments to you. When you think about it, it's almost like I'll be working for free.
No thanks. I wouldn't even want to hire you if you paid me for the privilege.
Why not?
Because you're an evil, overbearing woman who tormented me for 10 years. What do you think a property manager does? It's not just sitting in an office all day. You need to talk to residents, answer phone calls, deal with outside contractors, and so on. You're uniquely unqualified for the job.
Come on, can't you give me a break? Things didn't work out too well, but we were family once.
Not a chance. This is a business, not a charity. I won't waste this company's money hiring someone who isn't even capable of carrying out the bare minimum required of the position. Good luck in your job search, Charlene. By the way, if you can't make your monthly payments, don't worry. I'll just petition the court to seize your assets and sell them off until your debt to me has been paid. The first thing I'll take is your house, so I suggest you find a job as soon as possible. Charlene was never able to find a decent job, so she ended up taking an indecent one. To be fair, she had no idea what she was getting into. All she thought she was doing was picking up packages from elderly people and taking them to a warehouse. However, it turns out that she was actually an unwitting participant in a fraud ring. She was arrested, but the charges were eventually dropped. The police did give her a stern talking to, however. Joseph was enjoying his life with his new wife for a while, but they've hit something of a snag in their relationship. She expects him to do something he's never done before: chores. This leads to near daily nighttime shouting matches that draw plenty of complaints from neighbors. As for me, I'm loving life with my parents. My dad put me through a pretty intense boot camp to show me the ropes, and thanks to that, I'm actually performing quite well, I'd say. I've been away from the business world for a while, so it's really satisfying and fulfilling to be back in action. My dad tells me that if I keep working as hard as I do, one day I might even be as successful as him. It's a lofty goal, but it's one worth shooting for. Wish me luck!